All right, I actually don't want to share this message. Like every fiber of my being doesn't want to share this message. And it's mainly because it feels like right now I'm sharing an unfinished story. Yeah, I feel like it's actually paramount that I do. Well, we have this conversation right now because it feels like this is your unfinished story. That was the message that was coming through. So this is an astral travel message. I'm just going to free flow and show you what it is that I was seeing in the astral realm, what it is that I was experiencing. And it was all to do with you expanding into, completely unfamiliar timelines, and you were learning how to remain coherent inside of accelerated changes. You were literally moving through this portal, like jumping into this invisible current. And I'm seeing it as the, part of fortune. So it's like a very fortunate celestial current that flows you away into another realm with no break in space-time. So you're in this world, yet you're experiencing a completely different dimensional layer of it. Therefore, I'm seeing not just recovering information retained inside of the field, but there's some type of higher knowledge or knowing that you have. It really just feels like a remembering where you're not trying to find your purpose. It's something that you're remembering and is seeing, I'm like disclosing itself to you. And I'm seeing purpose as a character or an archetype for some reason. The first message I saw was a kinetic velocity generator, and it was essentially a stargate that was opening up. And this symbolizes near instantaneous teleportation, or the ability to bypass your current time and space and reach another point within the universe. So this is an opportunity that you're essentially able to seize. It's basically this window within space-time where it's a time matrix, it's a corridor of safe passage, it's a link into all dimensions across space-time, it's a glitch within the matrix, it's an exit and entry point. Essentially, I was being shown this expansion portal in the astral realm, and one of the portals was a Venus in Pisces, which is where Venus is exalted. I also saw Mercury in Pisces and Jupiter in Pisces, and Uranus was also in the mix, and there were other alignments that were coming, and they all had their own kind of energy. I was reading these different timelines, and there were different, let's just say, sequence of events that would be activated depending on which portal you step through. But there was a lot that was about to unfold. So if we break down these transits, Venus in Pisces is exalted. So it's literally all about unity. It's about compassion, creativity. We're dissolving the illusion of separation between us and literally everything. It's the remembrance of the universe being one single being. And so it talks about, conditional love rather than transactional forms of love. And so in the tarot, we would link that to kind of a mix between the Magician and the Moon, which is about merging with your higher self in physical form and beginning to, transform, let's say, the physical self to match the essence of your non-physical. That's kind of what I see it as. It's like the translator between realms where you can receive information from more of the subtle hidden architecture of this. I'm seeing of this higher intelligent field in which everything emerges from. That's what's coming through. And you can retain that level of connection while moving through the physical realm. That was one of the portals. Okay, so that's a portal that you are. And it's also, I'm seeing the not just path that you're walking, but it's the path in which you actually become as you walk through the realm of the physical. That's what this is, okay? And that opens you up to certain timelines of experience. Then the other one was Mercury in Pisces and Jupiter, which is obviously all about expansion, and especially when it comes to shifting the frameworks and how we view reality and being able to tune into that from more of an optimistic, playful kind of lens. And I see that as the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune in this deck is the life map. So this is opening your field up to so much more when it comes to fated and destined encounters. And then we also had Uranus energy, which is linked very strongly to the Tower. And in this card, it's all about the shore, which is getting ready for a swift change at any moment. Uranus disrupts established reference points, and it basically causes points of destabilization that become the very reason for our transformation. So there's something around very welcome destructive forces that bring about abrupt changes and open you up to vast portions of your potential, right? Like I'm seeing myriad possibilities being opened up as you break through an old paradigm. The next scene I saw was there was a question in it, and it said, who would catch up if we flew beyond our comfort zone? And that was a point of reference that you have for new heights. This message is very much the full energy and archetype. So who is he when he removes all distractions? Who is he after the universe pulls him back inwards and opens up the field to literally, I'm seeing nothing, which is where we return to the field of where everything is. That's what I'm seeing happen for you in your experience. So it's some type of major cosmic reset, and that's in order to become buoyant. It's actually a new lifeline being handed to you, and it's also directly linked to the death card, which in this deck is like you being beckoned to come and learn about what your life on earth could be. The third scene was all about intensity, not necessarily equating to depth. And I was basically being shown this unequal energy exchange that was happening, where this human was talking about profound levels of suffering and attaching to an identity or version of themselves that had moved through those cycles of suffering. And the main message I got was that it doesn't have to define you. It existed within a particular dimensional layer of reality, but that doesn't mean that you have to continue identifying with that frequency of the totality of who you are now. So are we mistaking intensity with depth, whether that's in connection or the connection that we have to our own life experiences? Is that actually the depth of who we are? I'm seeing on a core essence when we really unveil ourselves back to the core of our innate essence. Are we really our stories? So that fits perfectly after the Uranus energy, because it's like you're breaking free from that. When we move beyond familiar identities, relationships can reveal which version of ourselves we're still unconsciously being invited to inhabit. And something being emotionally intense doesn't automatically make it profoundly aligned or expansive. So the question you're being asked is, are certain exchanges conducive to the timeline you're expanding into, or are you maintaining it because intensity requires a level of attachment, whether that's to things external or where we even attach to our own external, let's say, past events? The next scene was super, super interesting. It was actually journeying into an underground land, and I call it entering into the subconscious realm, where I journeyed into a completely unfamiliar territory, almost like this underground network. And there was this flowing water beneath the ground, and an older, wise, and safe masculine figure rested on something that was wooden. And I responded that I like sitting on the floor right now, but I'll let you know if I get uncomfortable. And so the hermit is like this unavoidable ground that you're being called to walk when it comes to the depths of your own psyche. Essentially, it's the interface of where soul meets the physical form. And so the hermit in this deck is the cosmic tree, and this reminds me of your branches can only rise as deep as your roots are anchored into the earth. And I'm seeing that's your why being something that stabilizes you, and a why that you always return to, remembering why you're doing something in the first place. So this is inner guidance. I'm actually going to go ahead and read the hermit for you, because this is going to be significant. Because this person was so a hermit type kind of archetype. So reaffirming inner truth, it essentially talks about not seeking this, this knowledge elsewhere, but within your internal realms. It shows up in a reading to offer guidance to the collective unconscious. Take this as a positive affirmation that the path that you're on is the right one. And I'm seeing it requires an inward journey. It's a time of contemplation and understanding your own growth. Trust that the truth you seek is buried within the fibers of your own being. Understand that knowing your inner truth may require isolation. Spend some time with yourself in the quiet, because there's a seed that needs nurturing. So this was essentially showing where we have traveled to a place that can feel unfamiliar in our lives, yet instead of needing someone or something outside of ourselves to stabilize us, we can choose direct contact with the ground, right? We can choose direct contact with our connection to the earth. And so that expansion doesn't require embodying what is innately within us, but is actually returning to it. We can travel beyond our previous reference points while also trusting ourselves when it comes to moving through what appears to be new terrain, but it's something that's already existing within the field, what is new is our awareness embarking on of seeing the journey of our choices that allows us to navigate the terrain that was always there. So inside this underground network, I had the pleasure of actually running into Mo. Shout out 𝓩𝓸𝓻𝓵. If you guys know, on the channel, we brought him on for lives and he always has so much knowledge to bring up. And in the astral, we had this encounter and he was essentially wearing this shamanic kind of cloak and it had the words think on it and a bunch of other kind of esoteric symbolism essentially. And so we were having this telepathic connection. And I'm not going to say everything that happened, but it was an I see you kind of connection where, you know, despite how many trials or tribulations or how we got to this point of remembrance, we've made it back. So it was a level of just like acknowledging our fellow space-time travelers and our, you know, soul tribe and cosmic brothers and sisters when it comes to a non-verbal kind of style of communication where it's like, okay, I see you. And so I see you being a part of that network, which is why I'm kind of bringing you into this bubble right now. So yeah, that was like the main message. It didn't really matter how we made it back. And so there was an essence of, was it me versus you, or was it us all along? There was a level of free will of perception. We can choose to change the way that we're thinking about our life experiences and change the way that we feel about it, and also shift our resonance to it, which essentially just means that everything was necessary and contributed towards your soul's evolution and bringing you back to this point of remembrance. I'm seeing even if it was that Uranian kind of abrupt awakenings, it's almost like a welcome back home. So welcome back. That's the energy that came through. And then I got a scratching at like 3 a.m. to come back and write this down and to share it. So that's what it feels like is going on right now. All right. I just want to share a quick message for you, which is going to be a welcome back. What is this beautiful divine being that we have in front of us right here? I need to hear most in this moment with the welcome back. Okay. I'm seeing the field welcomes you. Okay, there's some kind of field of experience. I'm seeing what's the theme of this field: selective shield and 𝓂𝓐. You know, I said communication. This is internal communication. The way that you speak to yourself matters most. Selective shield is deciding what in the external world like interrupts this internal place that you've returned back to. And so this is like really, really important to know. There's something around forgiving yourself as well for the things that only time was going to teach you. This is about your field also being very, very open and porous. And so having to have a level of boundaries, even if that's between, I'm seeing not becoming confused with how one octave or localized part of yourself can think very, I'm seeing can see themselves as compartmentalized from the divine, when even this is an expression of the divine. And so recognizing yourself as not those lower thoughts, but the awareness behind them allows you to recognize what this part of yourself needs the most. So if we ever feel like we need something from the external, how can you become your own source for this? So that could be, I don't feel like anyone understands me. Okay, well, how can you become your own source when it comes to so deeply understanding yourself that you don't seek to be understood, but instead you seek to understand? To understand that there are many deities in this system that are lost and sleeping in matter, just like we have been. And there is a cosmic order and harmonic order that's being sustained within the contrast in this dimension. And so it's constantly bringing ourselves back for this and being able to hold space for ourselves as we move through this system. Okay. Selective shield, 𝓂𝓐. I'm going to read 𝓂𝓐 for you. This is also, I'm seeing intercommunication. To just bring yourself back. Maybe it's providing yourself more compassion. Maybe it's reassurance. You know, I'm seeing this. To reassure yourself, to comfort yourself, to, I'm seeing become the roots. To return to your roots. To return back to basics. Many of us have disconnected from the very basics, grounding, anchoring into our body. So communication is key. It talks about portals being key into other dimensions. It's a gene which helps us communicate as a species. In its shadow, the communication is used for destruction. In its neutrality lies the silence of things we do not say, which are incubated inside. In their light, words are the most evolutionary important tool that we possess as a species. It opens the doors of communication on a scale never seen before in the history of the universe. So this is a dawn experience. 𝓬𝓭 is one as well that it talks about, which is sorry, forgive me, I love you, thank you. And essentially just talks about the power of words as a whole and not labeling yourself as one thing when you look in the mirror, but tuning into the expansive link of communication. So this is about not seeing the world as it is, but seeing it as you are. Sometimes when we are hateful, fighting, angry, or utilizing negative words, on a molecular level, it can fragment us. It can leave us seeing ourselves from like a deformed perspective, like it can obstruct the way that we see ourselves. And there's something around the sacred return, again, how you connect with this vessel, how you speak to this vessel, how you nourish this vessel, right? This carbon-based life form, coming back to basics is the first energy that's coming through. Welcome back. Because once consciousness becomes aware of its own sacred container, then there's something around your inner realms that's more important now than ever to reconnect with. Let's get a gateway of the light activation. What is this? I'm hearing, especially when you're moving through sensitive or vulnerable seasons, to know that the relationship you cultivate with you and the version of self that you are comes with you everywhere that you go, through every event, through every turning point. So who are you to yourself? Are you an ally? Are you your worst critic? Are you your best friend? We have Akashic records, which is clearing old stories, releasing the past, and freedom. So the greater the awareness, the greater the freedom. So returning back to your formless-like state, your fluid-like state. When you draw this card, the universe is releasing you from past experiences. These can be soul-based memories, fears from previous lifetimes, or older aspects of this current lifetime that you've moved on from. Know that this is the time to reclaim your freedom and rewrite your story. You can do this by following through on your dreams. Gone are the days of fear-based indecision. This is the time to rise up and claim your truth. If you're sitting on a dream or feeling called to move in a particular direction, it's because you've unearthed an important soul lesson, and it's essential for you to follow on that call in order to clear unwanted energies from your past. Focus on what's calling you instead of what it is that you're moving away from. Sometimes we try to reject the present moment when the present moment is truly all it is that we ever experience ourselves moving through, which is the eternal now. And so time stops in as we are seated within that knowing. And then we witness the secret reordering, reconfigure around us. There's something around this specifically. And that becomes your central point of awareness, where nothing externally or internally pulls you away from your own divinity. It's like you return back to your own divinity again and again and again. I'm hearing you return back to play again and again and again. Humans suffer when they take too seriously what the gods made for fun, right? So as you do so, don't allow yourself to be pulled into expecting the worst outcome. Know that this expectation is not your truth, but old energy being released. So call in the angels to shine their light on any repressed fears, energies, or stories that are no longer serving you, because it's time to fly high in freedom. This is your unfinished story. That's what it is. It feels like this is a sensitive time, okay, like a sensitive time, because something could be time sensitive. Let me see what's the story that's still to unfold. So there's things that you're currently releasing or moving through. Density. The story that's still to unfold is something that you're going to be releasing that allows you to become I'm seeing you return to your buoyancy. This is certain belief systems that were weighing you down, I'm hearing beliefs around experiences that you're going to have ascended ways of thinking and relating to, understanding the benefit that they had on your soul's evolution. What's still yet to unfold with density. The tower, so literally an abrupt awakening around why something has occurred, and I'm hearing what to do with it, especially because you have the magician here at the base, which is you're going to know what to do with something. That's the unfinished part of your story. It's like, you know that it happened, but the why or what you're going to do with it is going to be revealed to you. That's the unfinished part. Because, and I don't think that you see this coming with the Tower, because this is like where the carpet swept under your feet, where you know how the meaning of a circumstance changes as we do, or our work evolves as we do, right? It's like the meaning of something changes as you do. And so with the Tower and what you don't see coming with density, it's like, hold on, something that rearranges or disrupts the way of hearing what you thought you knew. And it's like, you know, when you, the more you know, the more there is to know. The more that we know, the less we know that we know, right? It's like the more you learn, the more there is to learn. This is being brought to an unfamiliar place. When the darkness subsides, you find yourself on a foggy beach. Confused, you look around and see nothing familiar. Did you make the wrong choice? The shore seems of another world. Fire rains from the sky, and the air smells of soot. In the distance, you see graveyards of broken ships. You travel towards the ships, unaware of what you're looking for or who you even are. As the waves pummel the cosmic floor, the heaviness that hangs in the air creeps into your mind. Why are you here? This is literally you being brought to a point where it's like, you could be really questioning something, or again, you're in this complete place of something is brewing and you don't know what is going to be unveiled or what will be revealed, but you know that something big is drawing near. And this is like a revelation. The shore is the rock bottom of the spirit plane. If this card has appeared in the waking of a disaster, do not let your sudden upheaval define you. While the current territory may be unfamiliar, underneath the crashing waves of the shore sleeps the world you know well. Change is a part of breaking new ground, and some transitions can be harder than others. Take the time that you need to adjust to your new reality. Find daily comforts and embrace what you can of the familiar. It will make the unfamiliar feel more like home. What you don't see is there's something that you're going to be alchemizing. Okay, there's something that you're going to be alchemizing, which is a complete new worldview or deeper understanding on a soul level of what something that occurred, something that left a mark in the historical timeline of your story and what to do with it. That's literally what this is. You're going to be shown that why. What's the outcome of this? Let me get the outcome of this. And again, with Akashic field, right? Akashic field is the interconnected database that stores all the living memory of all timelines. It's the DNA of the earth. It's the memory of the earth herself and everything that has happened within the realms of space-time. And so there's versions of you that haven't done anything with it. There's versions of you that have and have alchemized it. Like, this is a force of creation. This is designed to further accelerate you along your path. Let's see. Scintillation. This is a download. X-ray is something that is the eye of the soul that we see. It's not apparent on the surface. We need an alternate perspective in order to see something that our ordinary human eyes are not able to. Scintillation is literally a download. It talks about a spatial or special light, some type of insight that one receives. Let me read it. A flash of light. What is light? Photons. Photon carries information. Scintillation is a phenomenon which consists of a quick explosion of light, so information which can be of high or low intensity. This glare of, you're going to remember something basically. You're going to remember what you did with this. You're going to remember, I feel it's so funny because I feel like this message has to go at the start of this reading, which is like some type of total recalibration, like something being shown to you back to front. You're going to reverse engineer some type of experience. Maybe you're going to understand it from the inside out. Like, you could be refocusing, reviewing, studying it, revising it from the perspective of the soul. And so you're gathering details. You know, when you rewatch a movie and it's like you start studying the characters, or you start seeing it differently, or you start noticing subliminals that you didn't see before, right? There's that type of analysis that's going on. This glare of intense light indicates that something or someone has a quality that they're normally missing. It is brief but a good omen and can repeat itself. it is important to bear in mind that this is an expression of light and energy. Ultimately, it doesn't matter how long it lasts or if it will be repeated. Instead, one must be able to enjoy the light that it brings. So there's something that I feel like you're going to be channeling into this. Let me clarify what that was. What's the outcome of that? Like, the outcome of the tower is like some type of light, some type of revelation. Because what happens after the tower, the star card, which is like hope, renewed vision, it's like healing, like integrating a circumstance. To integrate and heal is to look back at an event and it no longer has the same your emotional body no longer has the same response, because it's a level of nervous system regulation, which is like the hidden, forgotten language where we can look at an experience and see it from the lens of the soul, like the healed self. The Hierophant, literally. The Hierophant is the phoenix rising from the ashes, but it's also higher structures. Okay, so this is literally, you know, the Hierophant expands the frameworks of how he's viewing reality or his experience. Hello, honey, you're supposed to be doing something with this experience. That's what this is. And you know what energy is coming through? The billionaire timeline. You might want to watch that or rewatch it because this is being activated. It's like the way that you're going to monopolize or monetize or whatever the keyword that came through was from this experience. Like, you're going to just, something is coming through tenfold here. So let me read the Phoenix. It's a beautiful card. Rarely comes out as well. Like, it's only come out maybe a handful of times. So I'm seeing everyone experiences this to some degree and receives the calling, but not everyone answers the call. Are you going to answer the call? There's a difference between knowing the path and actually actively walking the path. That's what this feels like. So spirituality and oneness. It feels like some type of epiphany that you have around it. I'm seeing some of you write a book, some of you are going to channel it, some of you are going to talk about it, whatever this is, create something from it. You notice a fiery zipping streak across the space beyond you. You call upon the phoenix and it soars in the sky like a delicate explosion. The parade of colors streaming from the tail of the phoenix contains traces of the goodness you have engendered in your life. With these memories guiding the giant bird, it dances in the sky in true freedom, celebrating your new awakening. And in the beauty of this moment, void of all inhibitions, you realize that you are finally free too. If the phoenix appears, it's time for celebration as you're approaching a new awakening and there's an internal holiness with the self. This is the bridge between heaven and earth. You become that bridge to bridge higher awareness to third dimensional experiences. Ooh. If you made it to this point, comment down below, I am the bridge. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. Do not become too rigid in your expectations. This is having your belief systems basically challenged. Like, what you believe, are you open-minded enough to see where you're still closed-minded? That's what we all are, the ego is faced with within this experience. What could have felt like poison to the ego is actually medicine on a soul level. So allowing patience and room for this spiritual awakening to take place will allow you to soar to greater heights. Damn, that's crazy. I'm hearing you're about to be rich, right? Because this is like spiritual. Oh my gosh, we even have 10% right now. This is like spiritual alchemy, and it's going to be translating into a physical experience. That's what this gives me. You have 𝓘𝓾𝓯 here at the base. I was looking for this in the message before, which is literally light that comes in thanks to an eclipse. So I'm seeing this will be unfolding within the next 6 months for you. Stellar stream flip, so magical flow of abundance coming your way. All right, what is this? A realm of abundance. What will the result of this experience be if they so choose? Ultraviolet, followed by relativity. So something breaking open. Ultraviolet is what is existing in higher bandwidths of frequency light. That's what our primary antenna, which is the eye of the soul, is able to perceive in the realms of space-time, right? That's literally what it is. I'll go ahead and read a section of ultraviolet. It actually rarely comes out, but there's some type of experience that I'm hearing leads to a break within space-time. So it reminds me of jumping into a celestial portal that flows your way into another realm with no break in space-time. And that celestial portal, I'm seeing is information that's being revealed to you about what has occurred during your space-time travels. Look at this. Ultraviolet is what secretly affects us. Without being visible or perceivable, it acts silently, secretly affecting our field. So there's something that's perhaps been weighing and you're being called, well, you're going to know what to do with it. Okay, so it's I'm hearing like the responsibility or stones that you've been carrying carry you across the river of change, right? So what you've been carrying is soon going to allow you to cross over into literally another dimensional field of reality. What it is that you experience becomes the source of your abundance in many ways, and it's because of what you chose to do with it. So I'm also seeing the well-run dry, which talks about there's nothing basically productive or conducive when it comes to thinking or feeling about something in a way that's not supportive or contributing towards any themes of elevation in your life. And I'm seeing that rising beyond the story, you know, returning to the eternal aspect within you that's untouched or unaffected by what has occurred during your space-time travels, the one that sees hidden opportunity within a leaden experience, and that is the gold, that is the alchemist. Okay, so it represents the hidden things that affect our health, where mental, emotional, physical, spiritual matters are at hand. As it outside of the visible spectrum, it's difficult to identify, but it's not impossible to prevent. Self-imposed limits and self-care as medicine are keys. Invisible problems can be solved with tools which are equally invisible. These can be used on oneself or another, or an energy center. All our bodies and planes interact with energy without exception. Therefore, it's always recommended to protect them. Basic ways to care all your bodies and layers of existence. You know, when I say get back to basics, that's what this is. Meditation. Our mental body is fed by thoughts, therefore ensuring their quality is essential for its growth. How are we thinking about our travels through space-time? The physical body. I'm hearing, what is our relationship to time? So spaces within time, moments within time. The physical body, our planetary vehicle, manages the energies coming in and out through food, take care of the skin as it's the first layer of contact with the outside, and exercising to lighten our burden. If we live somewhere for a long time without cleansing it, everything that we've hoarded will be reflected in it. If we always leave the door open, many people will enter without permission. This is pure energetic hygiene and boundaries. For higher planes, the cleanliness of our aura is essential for the limits and purity of our astral body. The same applies with our emotional body. Lightening our burden, cleaning and limits create a healthy environment. Expressing our emotions is the way to get it out of our body, letting them go and making space for new emotions. On the other hand, introducing limits is how we protect it and reclaim our personal power to avoid signing contracts that go against our wishes. Ask and act for protection. It's time to take care of ourselves, and the portal is 111, which is all about trusting your intuition. That's what you need to hear. Let me get one last card. My battery is about to die. Okay, let's see. Four of Trees. Now, Four of Trees also kind of showed up reverse. So there's something that you're coming back into alignment with. Again, this is like a warning message because I have red right now on here. There's something that you are focusing on when it comes to the roots of your being. Return to the roots. What is a river without source? What are roots of a tree without connection to our ancestors? There's something around studying cycles that you have as you move through the realm of the physical, and I'm seeing cycles of thinking, like reoccurring lines of thought, and being able to introduce higher expanded ways of thinking and feeling. It feels like moments where you're being pulled back inwards in order to rise your level of consciousness to a complete new domain of reality, where I'm seeing there's something that you're going to be able to see that you couldn't before, and something that will be unveiled that will end up becoming extremely restorative for you, replenishing for you, rejuvenating for you. And it lies within the spring oasis of your own heart, leading you towards a new subterranean depth of experience that's designed to meet the version of you that hasn't hardened despite the density that it's moved through. You've still returned back to your luminescent, etheric, fluid-like form. And you have time and time again. Oh, bioplasma child. So, with that being said, I'm going to love and leave you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing because we'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also on the link down below. And also check out Otter Spirit if you're looking for some high quality AAE grade gemstones. 1/3 of the proceeds are donated towards otter sanctuaries. And until next time, my love. Bye.